Hello and welcome to this video. This video is going to be me reviewing IU's interview video for her sixth mini album, The Winning, and I'm going to be watching it on my laptop here. I would be giving my own opinions or ideas, or inspiration from what she shares, about her process in making bringing together this album. So let's just get into it.
어렸을 때는 되게 갖고 싶은 게 많았어. 예쁜 액세서리 이런 것도 많이 갖고 싶어 했고, 우리 집이 그 당시에 동네에서 제일 큰 문구점이라고 해야 돼. 진짜 좀 이런 거 저런 거 막 다 파는 그런 가게를 했었거든. 유치원 다니고 이럴 때. 그래서 항상 그 가게 손님들도 많이 붐비고 아주 예쁘고 막 갖고 싶은 그런 것들이 많아서 장난감도 진짜 많이 있고. 근데 그때 가게 안에서 제일 큰 미니 인형 같은 게 있었어. 마네킹에 이렇게 입혀져 있는, 걔는 머리부터 발끝까지 다 풀 세팅돼 있는 어떤 미니 인형이었는데, 걔를 너무 갖고 싶었는데 걔는 이제 딱 한 피스, 우리 가게에서도 한 피스 있는 거 보고, 우리 동네 모든 아이들이 눈독을 들이고 있지만 부모님들이 잘 사주지 않는, 비싸기도 비쌌고 그런 거 이제 애들이 갖고 싶어 하지만 부모님들은 잘 안 사주시려고 하는 그런 거 있잖아. 근데 그게 내가 눈을 딱 눈독 들여서 이거 어느 날 그냥 내가 가져야지 이렇게 하고 있었는데, 그게 어느 날 팔렸어. 풀세팅으로 머리부터 발끝까지, 왕관부터 뭐 이런 뭐 요술봉부터 구두까지 의상까지 해서 다 싹 팔린 거야. 그걸 마네킹을 부여잡고 울고 불고 못 판다고. 진짜로 진짜 찐으로 울고 불고 가게가 떠나가는 울고 불고 했었던 일이 있었거든. 태어나서 가장 처음으로 뭔가 그렇게까지 원했었던 욕심이 그거였었던 거야.
Um, this first section is interesting because it's interesting to me how sometimes some things, that we experience as kids, it sticks. You get like it doesn't go away. It just makes you, shapes you in a way that I don't know. Later as an adult, you every time you act in a certain way, you're like, oh, I'm satisfying this little girl or this little kid in me or this little person in me that was unable to, you know give themselves something in the case of giving, or maybe unable to, make peace with something or accept something. Because like most children, the final authority over most children's lives are their parents, and parents are just human beings, very flawed people too, but like that the final authority. And sometimes they do some things that you're like, as a child it just feels as if the world has ended, because if the final authority your life, cannot allow this thing that you feel like would make you whole, this thing that makes you extremely happy, if they don't allow it, it feels like your life has ended in that sense again. But I think it's just an interesting anecdote, and it gives us an insight into the type of personality she's had as a kid. You get, so she does that, and then the album, the interview video start. Like I said, the album's title is called The Winning. So
Yeah, this photo shoot for me. This is such a pretty. I can't say it's the prettiest ever.
I can't say it's the prettiest ever, because every album, every single she puts out, she makes sure she tries to bring a unique feel, a new feel, a different feel from what she did, in the past one. So this, I would call this like a very different color of IU. You get a very different, how do you call it, facet of her persona that she's sharing with us, or she's sharing with the world through her album. And I want her photo cards, and her album uh, I would like to have them. Let me just say that.
홀씨로 살기로 했다. 그 애는 홀씨로 살기로 했다. 결국에 이 앨범은 홀씨에서 시작됐어. 홀씨 그 문장에서 시작된 앨범. 딱 30대는 진짜 나랑
She says the album started from like the phrase that she has decided to live as a dandelion sits, and we know what dandelions are, yeah. Like once you just blow on them, they scatter off into the world, and you don't know where anyone falls. But like this is her first album in in her 30s. Something about her, she usually marks her age with like releases. I remember when 23 came out, and God, that thing changed my whole life. But anyway, and then there was Palette that was for I think 25, you know. So I feel like it's a very interesting like thing, kind of like something to look back on when you're old and grey and you're like, oh, when I'm in my 20s, I did this. Oh, you know. So let's continue.
30대에 오래 보면 원래 딱 서른이 되면은 그런 거를 또 한번 이렇게 카피를 나이 갈피를 뽑고 싶었는데 뭔가 완나이가 막 우리가 정정들이 하면서 살짝 좀 흔히 꼬이는 그런 게 확실히 있긴 한데 뭐가 됐든 나는 20대 때 내가 또 해오던 그런 메시지들이 가면 확실히 또 확 다른 얘기들을 지금 30대가 진짜 꺼내는 거기 때문에 이것 자체가 30대의 어떤 갈피를 딱 뽑는 작업이라고 생각하면서 하기는 했어. 뭔가 오랜만에 되게 몰두한 뭔가가 나오는 것 같다라는 생각을 많이 했고 이렇게까지 다 끌어다 쓰네? 이런 거는 굉장히 오랜만이었던 것 같고 그리고 준비하면서도 사실 막 정신적으로 막 힘들고 그랬던 것도 적었던 앨범도 자연스럽게 나를 이끌어준 그런 앨범이었기 때문에 별로 쉬었짜거나 괴롭거나 이런 게 없어서 참 좋았던 과정이었던 것 같고 사실은 이제 드라마 촬영 기간이 예전보다 조금 길어지면서 앨범
Um, this point here, they are like she was saying that she wants to use this album to mark, her 30s, and like for this album, she wasn't as emotionally challenged, so she didn't have to squeeze, her creative juices to put out stuff. This time it was the album, leading her into its creation. You get, and something like that is so wonderful to see. You get like I constantly talk about how I want to when I want to make videos here, I would like to make videos from the inside of me. Get I don't want to be moved by I don't know numbers or performance, or trends. I just want to look inward and do something that is satisfying, not even satisfying, something that comes from within. You get, and something that comes from within usually it's without form, it's without definition. You are just like, okay, so this is what is coming out. Okay, all right. So like, how do I go about this um idea now that has come from within? You get, so I think like it's a tell on her skill level, should I call it, her dedication to just, when somebody say something like, oh, I'm just letting my creative, like I'm just letting the album guide me into inspiration, and she's like, it was not that stressful. But the idea of it not being as stressful mean that she doesn't have to force things, she can just let it be. As free as that sounds, yeah, it requires, I don't know, maybe a lot of the details of it. You have to be attentive to the flow of it. And I think that's just beautiful. This period of making this album, yeah, she was also filming this drama. I think When Life Gives You Tangerines, it's going to come out on Netflix.
더 미뤄질 수 있는 상황이었었거든. 근데 별로 그러고 싶지가 않더라고. 뭔가 이 이상은 텀을 두고 싶지 않았고, 팬들이 또 너무 기다리고 있는 것도 알고, 나도 팬들과의 만남을 기다리는
I
입장이었기
think
때문에.
the last release she did was in 2022. I think when she released Strawberry Moon. Was it 2022 or 2023? But that was just a single you get. I think she has just been releasing singles for a while now. Like, and she has still been releasing stuff. We've not really had like an empty year, like that, without IU's presence, like her putting out something. Get, if it's not a concert, it's a single, you know, and her palette show that has been going on, for a while now. So, but she still felt like, her fans were waiting for her. You get, like, she didn't want to leave her fans for so long, which is something that is very, very, very interesting about her. She's very dedicated to her fans. Like, she goes the extra length, for her fans. That even me, that I'm so far away, I still feel her reach. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I still feel like she's reaching out to me, through her work. Or is that just me, creating something out of thin air? I don't know, but I like it. I like that she's acknowledging her impatience, that she always has this fire in her to always like do something for her fans, to release music, and not do something as in perform magic, but like music.
기다리는 입장이었기 때문에 좀 몸이 힘들어도 이거를 더 이상 늘어지게 두고 싶지 않았어. 그거 자체가 엄청난 승부사 기질이었다고 생각해. 힘들면 좀 어때, 오랜만에. 쉽게 갈 필요는 없잖아 라는 생각으로 조금 밀어붙였고, 그래서 나 때문에 사실 우리 스태프들도 좀 무리를 많이 했지. 그것에 대해서는 다시 한번 이 자리를 빌어서 죄송합니다.
You see what I was saying about how she was like, the album is creating itself, and she's just like following the freedom of the album. She still has to mention that this period, with all the things she had going on, she didn't want to delay the album coming out, and so she had to. Staff had to work overtime, like not overtime, but they were overworked. You get to bring all of this into life, and she's like apologizing to them, like, I'm sorry. So I think she's just like, and talking about her staff too, she has this energy, like, where you can see there's this thing I watched this particular concert of hers. I think it was the Love Poem concert or the Palace concert, where she showed the backstage where she was with her fan, and they would like eat together, or they would have lunch, or not lunch, like their lunch, dinner, when she would go from occasion to occasion, event to event, and they would like following her around, and all of that. But then she would have time to eat with them sometimes, or like share food, and all of that. It was very, very it felt like there was a connection. Obviously, is they're all workers, like they're all working together here, and there'll be a level of professionalism among them. But still, I think she does her best to make them feel like they are not just, like they're not just soulless. Being an idol is not easy. Being the staff of an idol, I imagine, cannot be easy too. So, like, her acknowledgement of their efforts, is a very beautiful thing to see. And I think it's the freedom that comes with being also a solo artist, in that kind of environment. She can tailor things, customize things, and the people that are tailoring and customizing, that they're not human beings, they're human beings too, and they deserve to be appreciated or acknowledged, at least for their effort. And I like that she did that.
약간 아우 지독하게 지독해 할 정도로 모든 곡에 승리의 기원.
I like this look. I don't know if you can see. This is like it's not clear. Okay. I like this particular. I like all the looks, but like this is really cool. This really embodies her dandelion energy.
키워드를 넣어주세요. 아무도 헷갈리지 않게끔 앨범 명으로 했고 지금의 나를 표현하는 데 있어서 굉장히 솔직한 단어들이 있거든요. 앨범을 준비하면서 항상 내가 꽂혀있는 주제들이 있는데 한동안은 그런 게 좀 없었던 것 같아. 그래서 앨범이 나오는데 좀 오래 걸렸던 것 같기도 하고. 근데 나는 항상 어떤 승부욕은 있었던 사람이거든. 근데 지금 이제 또 30대 접어들면서 나다운 그런 승부욕 이런 것들이 다시 한번 좀 대정화가 되는 시기라고 생각하고 20대 중후반에는 그게 좀 없었어. 그게 어떤 또 이렇게 그냥 내가 변화하는 과정인가 보다라고 생각했지만 30대에 들어서 다시 나 또 다시 어떤 새로운 승부를 하고 싶네? 이런 마음이 딱 드는 걸 보니까 나는 별 변하지 않고 그냥 20대 후반에 느꼈었던 그런 거는 내가 변화하는 그런 과정이 아니고 지치고 좀 번아웃이 와서 그랬던 거였나 보다라는 생각을 앨범 준비하면서 다시 했고.
Yeah, there's something very interesting that she says here that she like when she was in her mid to late twenties. Yeah, she felt like she was changing. From that mid to late twenties. That would be from cha era. Yeah. So she felt like she was changing. By that time she had been in the industry for. I think she debuted when she was really really young. You get so by 23. That that's nearly like a decade or something like that. You get from 23 Cheshire and forward. We fans we saw a difference. And she says it here that she thought like she was changing. She was changing. Before then they used to call her. I think they still do it now, but not it's not popular. Like they used to call her Nation's little sister or something. And when she came out with that, when 23 happened, it was like, okay, maybe not. That kind of, when you call somebody nation's little sister, all of that, all the connotations of that, like innocence, purity, and you can't make a living human being your own symbol of purity and morality, and just the way girls are put on the pedestal, like young girls are put on pedestals of innocence and purity. Yes, so I think she experienced that from her debut to her mid-20s. So when mid-20s came and she was like changing in that sense, she felt she was changing again, and her albums were different, the lyrics were mature. You get they were speaking of things, that existential crisis of identity and all of that. She had all of that like coming upwards from mid-20s. You get so she's now acknowledging it in this album that she thought she was changing then that she's not 30. She was saying that okay, it's a chance for her to reignite her competitive nature, her spirit, and you know change, discover a new side of her, or change or present something different, I guess. And then she now saw that the difference that she's presenting is still the same thing as when she was in her mid-20s to late 20s, but the feeling is different because now she can see it for what it is, that okay, this is who I am. I'm not really changing, I'm just in essence just opening up, you get, in that way, but she now acknowledged that what she was feeling, what the pressure she was feeling then in her 20s that she thought came with change, it was not the pressure of change, it was just her experiencing burnout, you get. And I feel like a lot of artists too, it takes a lot it takes a while for them to recognize that they are going through a burnout. You get, they probably think it's still the same usual stress of creating, the usual stress of, oh, I'm making art, so I'm under a lot of stress to be perfect or to achieve what I'm seeing in my head, you get. But it may be like a break. Usually when they take a break they see that okay, that was not me changing, that was just me, being fagged out, being burnt out. And I like that she acknowledged it here. Being burnt out is very normal when you're a creative. Like and it's very normal to take a step back, and reflect, on what came out from that process. Yeah, which is what she's acknowledging here. So
라는 생각을 앨범 준비하면서 다시 했고, 나는 역시 승부가 재밌고 이기는 게 재밌어 라는 생각을 하면서 준비했어. 거의 매일매일이 그런 승부야. 내가 짠 내 계획과의 승부. 내가 진짜 다 해낼 수 있는지 매일매일 과거에 내가 짜놓은 계획과 한판승을 벌이는 매일매일을 보내고 있고, 매일매일 이기고 있어.
very, very interesting. The title of the album is The Winning. So, and she just mentioned her competitive side. So she's explaining that, our own idea of competition is that every day, she fights a battle to um win over the plans, or to put in action the plans she made, yesterday, or the plans she made in the past. You get, and every time that plan comes to fruition, she wins. You get, so I feel like the winning is an acknowledgement of her wins, in essence, instead of simply just, being on the stressful plane of, oh, I'm very competitive, I want to be better than yesterday, I want to be better than yesterday. You can also acknowledge that I won. In the moment where you see your betterness, in the moment where you see things, come to life, you can just acknowledge that, oh, I won, I win, and she's like, it's called like winning, because like she wins every day, basically. That's what I'm getting from her, although this is just my own like interpretation of what she's saying, and how it's so important for me too. Important in the sense of like just nuggets of wisdom, or nuggets of somebody else's philosophies that are very interesting to see or to understand. You get. So now she's going to talk about Shopper. Shopper is one of the tracks on the album.
그게 당신의 니즈라면 물질적인 것도 좋고 다 좋아. 그게 꼭 추상적인 것에 일 필요도 없고 물질적인 것이 필요도 없어. 상관없어. 당신의 욕구라면 당당하게 원해라 라는 이야기인데, 요즘은 내가 느끼기에는 점점 더 자신의 그런 욕망, 욕구 이런 것을 좀 감춰야 되는 시대인 것 같아. 그래서 뭔가 맨 처음에 내가 이런 가사를 써볼까 하고 느꼈었던 건 뭐냐면, 요즘 아이들의 꿈이 예전에는 정말 다양했잖아. 장래.
Basically, Shopper's theme is just, if that's what you want, have it. For her, she's like, for IU, she's saying that Shopper is like I don't want to use the word, like a normalizing of desires. She's personally feeling that these days everybody wants to put meaning. Everybody wants to make abstract the things that they want, but sometimes the things that you want are just very simple things, in the sense like they are things that you can, that are tangible, that you can just go out and buy, or things that you can just have. They don't have to be some, even if those ones too are also part of it, but like you don't have to judge yourself for the desires that you want, basically. And so that is what the song is, that's where the song is coming in. You get. So she goes ahead to speak about like children, and the way children dream.
진짜 다양한 직업군들이 나오고 그랬는데 요즘에는 딱 몇 가지로 이렇게 모아진다더라. 뭐 연예인, 뭐 유튜버, 아니면 그냥 되게 안정적인 월급을 받을 수 있는 회사원. 근데 뭐 물론 다 좋은 직업인데, 나 같은 경우에는 어릴 때는 진짜 하루가 멀다 하고 꿈이 바뀌었었던 것 같거든. 어떤 날은 디자이너, 어떤 날은 외교관, 어떤 날은 변호사, 어떤 날은 가수, 막 진짜 매일매일 꿈이 바뀌었었던 것 같고, 내가 그것을 다 할 수 있을 거라고 생각해. 됐었어. 근데 뭔가 아이들이 점점 더 그냥 꿈에 대해서도 현실적인 부분을 일단 중점을 둔다고 생각한다는 게 나는 약간 충격이었거든. 아이일 때는 그 특권이 있잖아. 허무맹랑한 꿈을 꿔도 되는. 그리고 그 꿈을 누구도 야 그건 허무맹랑해 라고 짓밟을 수 없는 딱 그런 시기잖아. 근데 요즘은 그렇다고 하더라고. 뭐가 그렇게 아이들조차 현실적으로 만드는 걸까? 이런 꿈을 꾸고는 싶지만 입 밖으로 꺼낼 때는 그냥 좀 더 현실적인 답을 얘기하는 이런 것들이 왜 그렇게 되는 걸까? 그리고 그게 비단 아이들뿐이 아니고 이제 어른들도 점점 그냥 더 퍽퍽해지는 것 같은? 꿈을 꾸는 것만큼은 더 색채가 팡팡 터지고 어이없는 꿈을 꿔도 되잖아. 근데 그 꿈이라는 것들이 결국엔 다 욕구, 욕망인 거잖아. 그걸 그냥 더 자연스럽게 말하고 그런 분위기가 됐으면 좋겠다라는 생각이 이 곡을 만들 때는 가장 맨 처음에 생각이었어. 근데 그러고 보니까 나조차도 좀 점점 더 그런 것 같아. 점점 더 실현 가능한 계획을 세우고 그리고 내가 이 이상 더 원하는 것들, 더 이루고 싶은 것들이 생길지라도 뭔가 내가 스스로 좀 자제하게 되는 이런 것들이 굳이 그럴 필요가 있나라는 생각이 좀 30대가 되면서 또 들더라고. 그리고 나의 욕심에 나는 원래 어릴 때부터 하고 싶은 게 되게 많고 욕심이 많은 사람이고 그래서 내가 뭔가 욕구, 나의 욕망에 대해서 말하면 다른 사람들이 너 되게 그 꿈은 되게 얼토당토하는데? 좀 괴짜 같은데? 혹은 너 되게 욕심쟁이 같은데? 그런 소리를 들을지라도 당당하게 욕망하자라는 그런 얘기를 하고 싶었어. 나 스스로도 좀 더 그렇게 되고 싶었고.
Like this section on Shopify is very interesting to me because before people state their dreams, you get she keeps on repeating dreams, and then she talks about like she says desires first when she starts out. She says Shopify is for like your desires and whatever, and like you can just want it. You don't need to have a an abstract definition for your desire. And then she later the thing now evolves into dreams because she explains that dreams are eventually just your wants and your desires, yeah. So she's like the way she acknowledges that these days, she wonders like what's making children so realistic. Like when people want to like when you ask kids what they want to be, they'll say things like they want to be a YouTuber, they want to be a celebrity, or they want to have a stable salary job, a job that their salary is stable. And it's like imagine the state of the world where children are trying to be practical. You get children that are supposed to have their childhood filled with absurdities and the wildest of imaginations. Now they are being injected with practicality and reality, and she's like she wonders why, because that was not how her childhood was. Her childhood was one where she dreamed about everything and anything, you get, and nobody was like there to say, oh, that dream is odd. Like, how are you going to make it in so industry? Or what can you do there saying you want to be? Because, all those kind of things. And it's very, very nice. Sometimes feels good sometimes for somebody, even if the person is just like an artist making an album, for them to just say the point of having dreams like you can just enjoy, just naming your desires before thinking about how they're going to be. You can just enjoy the process of dreaming, you know of wanting, of desiring. Just enjoy that moment of having those desires, those dreams, because they are yours to have, before you start to qualify it, into whether it can be or it cannot be, and that's what the music is trying to make you feel like, basically that's what she's saying, that the music is is aiming for, when you listen to it. So now she's going to talk about the winning.
걔는 홀씨가 됐다고. 그 홀씨의 승리는 과연 뭘지.
This look, this look, I'm still going to show it. Okay, I love this look.
나는 이길 것이야, 나는 승리할 것이야 라고 그렇게 얘기를 하는 그 부분이, 그 포인트가 난 더 많이 성공할 거야, 난 더 많이 돈을 벌 거야, 난 더 잘나지고 더 많은 사람들이 나를 부러워하게 할 거야, 이런 기준이랑은 진짜 좀 많이 다른 것 같거든요. 나는 어쨌든 나의 한계를 인정한다. 그리고 나의 초라함도 인정한다. 나는 내가 될 수 없는 어떤 불가능을 인정한다 라는 얘기기도 해요. 홀씨가 되기로 했다라는 말 자체가.
Wow, this is actually beautiful. Coming off of the heels of, where I just stopped, where I was like that, you can just enjoy wanting things. You can just enjoy just dreaming about the things that you want. She's saying that, talking about who she or something, she's like, oh, she has become a dandelion, all of that. Like, at what point, does she win? You get like the winning and all. Like, what point does she win? You get, and is it that when she makes, more money, is it when she has become the envy of everyone else? Is that when she? But no, 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 no. She's like at this age, her own idea of winning is where she can be like, I acknowledge the limitations of my abilities, I acknowledge the impossibilities of what my dream entails, of all the things I want. Like, just calm acceptance of, I don't know, calm acceptance of certain things. You get, just the acceptance of it equals winning to her, which is incredible. I feel like
나는 왜냐면
that's what it means to be a dandelion seed.
어떤 꽃이든 간에 나는 내가 꽃으로 필 거라고 생각했었거든요. 근데 30대가 돼서 난 그냥 씨로 살래라고 마음을 먹은 것 자체가 모두가 꼭 꽃이 되는 건 아니구나 라는 거, 결국에는 진짜 화려하게 뭔가를 꽃 피우는 내 그 자체가 꽃이 될 것이다 라고 생각했었던 그런 시간들이 부정당할 수도 있겠다. 꼭 꽃으로 피어나면서 그게 결말이 되는 건 아닐 수도 있겠다. 안 그런 삶도 있을 수도 있겠다. 뭐 이런 것들에 대한 생각을 좀 했거든요. 그러면 씨로 살기로 한 이 시점에서 어떻게 멋진 씨로 살 것인가를 새로 재정비하고 뭐 그런 포부를 담은 앨범이기도 해요. 그래서 과연 홀씨에게 있어서 승리란 무엇일까? 이 홀씨가 꿈꾸는 더 위닝은 무엇일까? 이런 얘기들을 담은 앨범이에요.
What will these dandelion seeds, the winning dream of? What will this dandelion seed, the winning dream of? This is such a pretty statement, like, because so far she has been explaining, like, she has been breaking down. First of all, she put forth that, she, from it as a child, she has been dreaming that, okay, she will bloom into a flower one day. And it's interesting, she's in her 30s and she still feels like she hasn't bloomed yet. And not just her 30s, this is freaking IU, you get, this is June. And she feels like that dream that she had as a child of blooming into a flower, it still has not come to be. And at this point, you get, she has made peace with it in the sense that not everybody becomes a flower. Some people become dandelion seeds instead. Like I said earlier, that when you blow a dandelion and the dandelion and the seeds, float everywhere, and that's the end of it. You get, like, and those seeds, they are just like spores. They go up and they grow again into another dandelion and they spread again. That kind of existence. And she's like, some people are just dandelion seed, and she has acknowledged that okay, she's a dandelion seed. That tells a lot about how she views herself, in life in general. And it's also like this big, God, it's also like this big mm, cold water on my face, in the sense that mm, ever since she started speaking about the album, she was talking about how she has turned 30 and all of that, and it's like probably I felt like she was going to a place of okay, this is a calm acceptance of the rest of my life. I'm eager for my 30s. She even said that she wished that 30s could go on and on and on because she likes the way she feels right now and all of that. And I thought she would, like, I don't know, get to the point where she's like, oh, I've bloomed in this respect. I've become, and she's like, she still doesn't feel like she has bloomed. The dream of her being as a child, she still doesn't feel like she has bloomed. And it's like, wow, like, I feel like she would be a very interesting person to know, you know, personally. Like, for her to, I don't know how to say this. Like, I feel like I might even stop the video here because it's almost ending. Like, it's like 40 minutes and I'm at 12:40. So it's like, bro, like, half of the time, half of the moment when I have all this dark, like, gloomy, doom, absolute hellish moments are when my ego surfaces up and is all screaming and holding on to the the label of failure, like, oh, this is what they are, a failure because they've not done this, they've not done this, they've not done this. It's mostly in the doings, in the in the result you get, like, oh, as I am as a person, there's a part of me that wants to do something that I'll be like, okay, this is what I've done as a human being. I didn't just grow up to be a bomb in that sense. You get, like, I want to show something of mine. You get to be like, oh, this is what I've achieved, what I've done. I don't know. I felt like I've always felt like in the doing, in the achieving of something, I would finally, that feeling inside of me would go away, like, oh, I've bloomed in a way, you get, like, I've bloomed. But then to hear her say something like she doesn't feel like she has bloomed and she doesn't have any illusions that she's blooming into any flower anytime soon, despite everything, everything that she is, you get, despite her being like the epitome of what I dreamed of, you get, like, she's like an image of it, you get, I is like an image of what I hope to be, kind of, you know in a lot of aspects. And she's still saying, oh, she doesn't feel like, and it's like, ah, okay, like, fuck. Obviously, I'm in my own process of, like, I'm not in my own process of blooming. I don't think of blooming again in that sense. Like, I don't I'm in the place, like I always say, like, even in my bio or whatever on YouTube, I say, like, this is the place of the unknown. Nothing is happening here. There's no meaning to be found here. You get, so it's like, it's like it's just a, I don't know. It's not like, I'm ha 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 at her, like, or something. You get, it's just like like you can see now that it's not just mouths. People used to say that, oh, it's not like when you have things. A lot of teachers are listening to the same things, like, oh, when you have the being, the fulfillment, that you feel like you're looking for, you're searching for in the things that you want. Those things cannot give it to you. Fulfillment comes from you know, being in the consciousness that you are. And it's like, I believe there in moments where I feel my own sports of fulfillment, when I feel my own satisfaction just by existing, you get, and I don't, and my ego doesn't scream out, failure as much anymore. I feel I feel pockets of fulfillment, and is very heartwarming. I feel it's very comforting. Like it's like the biggest comfort to hear her say that she's a dandelion seed. To hear her say the dream of her being a flower, of blooming into a flower. Maybe not everybody blooms into a flower, the dream of like the absolute comfort that brings, like I cannot begin to quantify it, but I'm so happy that you know she's sharing that thought process with us. I'm so happy she put it out there. you know I'm so happy for it. I'm so happy, and I'm so grateful. Happiness is such a stupid generic term. I'm more grateful for it than happy. I'm so grateful for it. I think this is why I've been repeating this video over and over without really, getting to the nitty gritty of what I was looking for. Like, this is the whole point of the video for me, where, she's acknowledging and making peace with the things that just are not, you know. There's a lot of things that you want to be, but they just are not. And you can just make peace with it. And you can also dream from there, because she goes on to say, what will this dandelion see as herself? What will their own winning be? What will their winning dream of? You get, like, what will this dandelion seeds win dream be entail entirely? You get, I don't know if that makes sense, but let's just continue.
호시가 꿈꾸는 더 위닝은 무엇일까? 이런 얘기들을 담은 앨범이에요. 그리고 뭐 아까 그 쇼퍼 얘기를 했었던 거랑도 같은 맥락에서 본인이 나는 화려하게 꼽히지 못할 것 같아 라고 생각해서 혹시 본인의 욕구나 욕망을 줄이는 사람이 있다면 그럴 필요 없어 라고 얘기해주고 싶은 마음을 담은 앨범이기도 해요. 나 역시 그런 꽃이 아닌 것 같은데 그렇지 않더라도 다른 사람들이 그건 좀 괴짜 같아, 넌 욕심쟁이 같아, 이건 별로인 것 같아 라고 하더라도 너로서의 욕망은 계속 이어가, 너만의 승리를 이뤄 라는 그런 말을 나 스스로에게도 그리고 내가 사랑하는 사람들에게도 하고 싶어서 그 유기성 하나만큼 진짜
Wow, she just spelled it out. she just spelled she just spelled it out so easily. She's like, to those people, like in the context of shopper, that mm, to those people that are restraining themselves, saying that, oh, why bother, I'm not going to dream of this or dream of that, because I know that I can't be a flower, that June, I'm telling you that even me too, I'm not a flower, I'm not a flower, but despite not being a flower, the flower here represents everything that you want to be. The blooming is the whole process of becoming, you get, and then flower is like everything you want to be. And she's like, she's not it either, you get, and that despite her not being it does not mean that she's not going to dream, or does not mean that she's going to stop dreaming, with this realization, and she's like, pursue your own ambition, achieve your own victory, define what victory means to you from where you are, from what you've come to see yourself as, from what you accepted yourself as. You can define your victory for yourself. You can define your own ambitions for yourself. You can win. You can just dream new dreams. You can let go of um that shadow of what it means to be a flower and just dream as a dandelion basically. And she's saying it to herself and the people that she loves, and saying it to the people that she loves means her fans too, yeah. It's so it's the most touching thing, you know, ever. So meaningful, and I feel like I'm so happy that I made this video because even before making this video, I wasn't able to piece together what she was trying to say, but now I can. And God, let's just finish the video. It's like 15 minutes left. She said she made this album. She said, I made this album with the utmost sincerity without one common leitmotif.
하고 싶어서 그 유기성 하나만큼 진짜 지독하게 가지고 만든 앨범입니다.
That's the end of the album. That's the end of the interview. If you made it this far, I hope like you can also watch this video in your own time, and if you've watched it, you can also share with me the awarenesses I came to through her own awareness, how our awareness is what it awakened in you, because I have been touched, and I feel like this is one of the best videos I'm ever going to make. Thank you for being here. Bye bye.